Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And, of course, good morning, Mini Motorways. We are off to Munich for today's daily challenge, which will see some colors of destinations always be circles. And we will have double the number of roundabouts. And that will always be wonderful. Until, it's not. I don't know. Do roundabouts give you cancer? I suppose it's possible that roundabouts are carcinogenic, in which case, oops. But, everything gives you cancer. I read something Hank Green posted yesterday that said if you took the chemical composition of the char that develops on hot dogs that you cook over a barbecue grill, if you measured that chemical composition and included it in, the ingredient information of hot dogs, it would be illegal to sell hot dogs because the char contains compounds that are known to be carcinogenic. That doesn't mean you shouldn't have hot dogs. It's just weird, I guess. I'm 99.9% sure that Hank Green was not lobbying against the existence or selling or merchandising of hot dogs, given, he's Hank Green. The man is known to enjoy a hot dog, particularly wrapped in batter and deep fried. In other words, corn dog. Well, it's 7:01 in the morning and I just had breakfast, and yet now I want a corn dog. Is Now I Want a Corn Dog the title of the episode? It's entirely possible. We'll see if I say anything funnier in the next, 50 minutes and change. But we'll see. Now I want a corn dog. The thing with corn dogs is, unless you get a really big one, the corn dogs I typically have on the rare occasions when I have corn dogs. Listen, I don't want to go out here creating the impression that the Goog is having a corn dog a day or nothing. But when I do have corn dogs, I tend to have these State Fair brand corn dogs, the kind that you get in a box in the freezer section of your grocery store. And those are good and fine, but they're not substantial. So you really want to have 2 or 3 corn dogs at a time. Talking about this is not helping it, incidentally. It's not one of those cravings that goes away when you talk about it. No, it is in fact the opposite. Hopefully we get a bridge this week, because if we don't, we're going to have trouble. Right down here in Munich City, trouble that starts with the capital T and that rhymes with B, and that stands for bridge. Hooray, bridge. All right, so we're going to take these light blues here, which have nicely come into existence just as we needed them, and we'll loop them like so. They will go above the northern island in the River Isar, which we will try, as always, to pave, and therefore not have to deal with annoying jerkbags and their bridge needs. Annoying jerkbags and their bridge needs is the title of a civil engineering textbook, I think. Basically, all road maintenance these days is just accommodating annoying jerkbags and their bridge needs. All right, we got this orange here. Fortunately, I think we can wait until the weekend to try and deal with that. No promises, of course, but theoretically at least. Let's see here. I think this business can wait. It is about to get angry, but it's also Saturday afternoon, so we can presumably get through Sunday. Oh, this is going to be closer than I expected it to be, and if we don't get a bridge, we are in proper bother. But let's see here. Oh, hi. All right. Motorway is actually suddenly much better than just a bridge. Let's run motorway number 1 over to there. That should be fine. The existence of this white business suddenly made this be a real problem. But I think this is going to be okay. Because we're going to get in here, we're going to create a little bit of a buffer. And yeah, this doom counter is going to start going down. Okay, I think we're fine. I think this orange business will, in the medium run, be totally a-okay. I say the medium run because in the long run, we're all doomed. All of us forever. Sun will boil the oceans and all that. That's a nice way of summarizing the inevitable doom of life on this planet. Sun will boil the oceans and all that. Because, that's gonna happen. Unless something else happens. Listen, we've established for a fair and reasonable degree of scientific certainty that within the next, say, billion years or so, the sun, as it ages and gets hotter, will indeed increase the surface temperature of the Earth to such a degree that standing water reaches its boiling point and is therefore removed from the planet, or at least, evaporates via boiling. So that would be bad. Quite difficult. Hold on. I had a thing in my mouth. Now I must cough. Damn it. Damn itself, I was in the middle of a riff. It is quite difficult to exist on a land rock with no water. This is one of several zillion reasons we should not try to colonize Mars anytime soon. Listen, I'm gonna be real with y'all. The idea of colonizing Mars sounds cool. It does sound cool. And if we, as a species, want to spend some very small proportion, some exceedingly small money, some exceedingly small amount of our massive wealth on the far-flung futuristic notion that one day we might be able to colonize another planet here in our solar system, Mars wouldn't even be the best bet. It's the closest bet. Honestly, the moon is probably a better bet than Mars on account of proximity, but Mars does have a certain appeal to it. I'm not gonna lie. It sounds cool to colonize Mars. I've never, capital S, seen the movie The Martian, but I have seen, YouTube shorts and TikToks of the movie The Martian. And despite the fact that it started with a dude getting abandoned on a planet and having to improvise all of this shit, it did seem cool that the dude was able to basically colonize Mars. Very cool. Mark Watney, space pirate and all that. All of this having been said, it's not a practical, realistic, short-term, any of our lifetimes type goal. And we're not exactly... All right, I am a firm believer of the idea that there is enough to go around in terms of, wealth and food and all of that. And the issue is not population. The issue is allocation of resources. So you're not exactly going to see me over here saying Thanos was right or nothing. Where was I going with this? I don't remember what I was doing. I got distracted by my socialism, which, listen, it's a thing that happens. You go over here, you go up there. Hamilton Nolan, who's a writer you should read if you feel like reading good, depressing things. Which sometimes I feel like reading good, depressing things. A lot of time recently I haven't, because I gestures vaguely at everything. There's enough depressing going on. Let's take this and that. My point is, Hamilton Nolan had a good point in a column he wrote that was ostensibly about Zoran Mamdani, the socialist dude who's running for mayor of New York City, and it appears at this middle stage is going to be elected mayor of New York City and then have his agenda destroyed by intentional sabotage. So that'll be fun. It's going to be enjoyable to watch a generation of New Yorkers become disenfranchised become both literally disenfranchised and then disenchanted is the word I was looking for, by electing a dude who, by all means, should have the power to do the things he wants to do, and then suddenly find out that no, actually, you see, etc. All right, let's do something different. We're going to I am a wee tad temporarily impoverished millionaire regarding road tiles, so we're just going to do this, which is not a great thing. There are better things to do, but for the moment I was thinking we could loop around here and build two different very long pink roads, but I'm a skosh in the almost red as regards my road tileage. Now, oh hi, another motorway. Yeah, we'll take the motorway. No point taking a bridge and 10 when a bridge and 20 when we could have a motorway and 10. Let's do. I think what we're gonna have to do is toss a roundabout right here about. We toss a roundabout right there about. Okay. So these 6 white houses are going to come up here into the roundabout. One spur go off that away, one spur go off that away, and this will be lovely. These pink houses right here will also be implicated in the whole roundabout fiasco, which, I mean, there's no real reason for them to be in the roundabout, right? They're just kind of there because I need the roundabout to get the yellows, the whites to behave. What if I didn't? What if I did this and then this, and that roundabout goes there and that goes there? Hey, now this, for the moment, is a roundabout and eventually will be a perfectly cromulent traffic light. Like, in the long run here, the goal and the hope and the aspiration is that we turn this into just a traffic light and we save the roundabout for a situation that's more round appropriate or something. I don't know. All right. You've gone circular. All the more reason to maybe just dedicate a separate road to you entirely. Hold on, folks. Hold on. Do we just want to, like, dedicate a separate road to this? Because we're starting to get to the point where, well, there's so much white housing going on this side that, okay. I don't think we're going to need a 4th and 5th roundabout more than we'll need a bridge in addition to our motorways here. So I think we're going to take that. This is another white house which has spawned in a rather unfortunate location, actually. So I think we're just going to leave that be for now. Hi, Nora. Hi, why are you meowing? What? You're such a beast of meow. All right. These houses are starting to really pile up here, and this might eventually create a traffic backlog, but for the moment, it's basically just fine. This orange house has spawned rather inconveniently because it's on the back side of the on-ramp here, and there's nothing I can do about that, but it is what it is. This purple business was looking a little askance for a moment, and I was going to say that it was supported by all of the purple houses on the map, but then there are more purple houses. So now we must reevaluate. Let's see here. I think this reevaluation is going to include some mild restructuration as regards these pink houses and this pink business. Let's take... I'm going to avoid the bottoms. I'm going to intentionally not optimize this road. I'm going to avoid this entry place right here because the odds that this business turns out to be purple are slim. So let's toss a roundabout right here about. And if we do that, then we can have a spur go out there. Actually, that's kind of ugly. Let's go one more tile north. We'll do a roundabout here. Western spur goes off that away. Southwestern spur goes down there. And these pinks here, I'm just going to wait for this bridge to come apart. Once this bridge comes apart, oh hey, oranges. Oranges are basically fine. Let's see here. You go there. All right. Render unto me another motorway. Thank you very much. I very briefly might have considered taking 30 road tiles there, but nah, unrealistic. Let's now examine our situation, and I think our situation calls for these 2 oranges here, actually, to just take motorway number 2 and go in that way. So Hamilton Nolan, who has a newsletter, among other things, wrote a piece that I read the other day, I think it was yesterday, about Zoran Mamdani, who is likely to be elected and then fucked over as mayor of New York. That basically boiled down to, look, no one, or at least no one serious, is actually saying all property is theft, the state should control the entire economy, pure 100% socialism right this very moment. And therefore, Whenever anyone says anything is socialism, we must decide and determine what this person is actually saying. And what Zoran Mamdani is saying when Zoran Mamdani says socialism, which is also the same thing that like Bernie Sanders is saying when Bernie Sanders says socialism, is, hey, I have an idea. You know how we have a government? What if it tried to help people? What if there were like schools that were good, that the government paid for, and like buses that don't suck, that the government pays for, using taxes on rich people? What if we tax rich people like a little bit more, just a little bit more, just a little bit more? They can afford it. Don't worry, it'll be fine. What if we took just like a tiny little fraction of the money that rich people have and used that tiny little fraction of the money rich people have that we, the government, take? What if we took it and spent it on things for people? Then everybody, including the rich people we tax a little bit more, would be better off because there would be buses and schools, trains. People would be able to learn and do and grow and travel. Life would be better for everyone. And also, like, people could still be, like, rich and stuff. Because, you know, we're not taking all of it. We're just taking a little bit. Just a little bit. What if we just took a little bit? We could take a little bit. What if we took a little bit? I think this idea might work. Could we just take a little bit? And that's not, like, really socialism. If you do, like, academic textbook definitions of socialism, it's not. It's like it is at best a highly socialized form of capitalism, and not even highly. It's just like a mildly socialized form of capitalism. They're not even saying at the moment, what if we took like just a little bit more of the rich people's money and paid for healthcare for everyone? Just like everyone gets the healthcare. Everyone gets doctors, and they're good doctors, and we build hospitals in places where people are, and people who need hospitals have hospitals, and we do doctors without, well, I was going to say Doctors Without Borders, but that's a thing. What if we work with the organization Doctors Without Borders and also Doctors Within Borders, and we just have doctors? What if everyone who needed a doctor got a doctor? Not like to have, but like to treat them for medicine. What if the government paid for that with the money that it took from rich people from taxes? Which, like, we're not even talking about noticeable quality of life changes for the kind of rich people we take. It would be like, hey, Jeff, hey, Jeff. You know how you have that enormous pile of Scrooge McDuck money that is your spare pile of Scrooge McDuck money, not even the pile you like to dive in sometimes, but just like the pile that you dream your wife would one day want to dive into, but she's always come up with a reason not to dive into the pile of Scrooge McDuck money, and it's kind of freaking you out a little bit, and you're starting to think that she's not actually into the idea of diving into the pile of Scrooge McDuck money. You know that second pile of Scrooge McDuck money? What if we took like 40% of your second pile of Scrooge McDuck money and instead used it to make people not be homeless? We build like shelters, nice ones, well, like apartment buildings, and then we give people apartments, and then they're not homeless anymore, and then they have lives and they can work and be better, and they improve their station, and they go rent apartments at reasonable rates from people. What if we do that? Like, we're talking that level of socialism. And whenever anyone says that with anything approaching too loud a voice, the Fox Newses of the world are like, that's socialism! And then they wonder why the youths of America are starting to have positive views of socialism. It's because you propose imminently reasonable, seemingly good things that are, in fact, good things. And the people who control the money under capitalism are like, but that's socialism! And the people who aren't scared of labels go, okay, go socialism then. Because that still sounds like a good idea. Like, you realize that calling a thing socialism doesn't immediately make it a bad idea, does it? And the Fox News of the world are like, but that's Socialism. Anyway, Hamilton Nolan has a well-written article that makes basically that same point. You should read it if you like, again, well-written, depressing things about the kinds of things we can and should have in this country and don't and won't. But, you know, one can only tolerate so much of that. So if you don't want to, I understand. Oh, God. Oh, let's see here. We took 30 road tiles there because I didn't really find myself in need of a third roundabout. We've already used one. We've already used two, actually, because I never bothered getting traffic lights to solve this white situation. But honestly, this white situation appears to be working out just fine. So I don't know. Maybe we don't need to. Speaking of things we maybe don't need to, maybe we don't need to worry about this white business being a circle, despite the fact that it only has 2 houses of support. I feel as though we probably do need to worry about that. I feel as though that probably approaches the state of being that could be called a concern. I think we may be able to correctly call that a concern. Speaking of concerns, I'm going to toss these 2 orange houses onto this road and into this roundabout and down to this business on account of this business dying, because there's only like 4 houses presently supporting it. Hi there, little white business. I was going to do something else with these white houses, but then you came to be. So let's point this white business up here. Hey, you know what, folks, friends, all that good stuff? I think maybe it's time to separate some of these whites here. I think, well, hold on. We're not doing it for the sake of just the whites. That's very important. If you're doing it for just the sake of the whites, to isolate the whites from everything, that tends to end bad. That gets like Jonesboro vibes, and we don't want Jonesboro vibes. Instead, we want Friends and Romans and Countrymen's vibes. I don't know. My point is, what if we do this? What if we just take... Sorry about this tree. Oh, I'm out of road. Well, I'm preemptively sorry about what's going to happen to you, comma, tree. What if we take that? And listen, we're also gonna murder and chop this whole snaky nonsense road here, and all of this, and all of this. We're gonna get a whole bucket of road back eventually. Like, not immediately, but we're gonna get a Colonel's deep fried bucket of road. You go, actually, hold on. These 3 whites here, I'm just gonna pop right there onto the front end of this road, and they'll get up here, and that'll be totally fine. I'm also gonna yoink these 3, cancellate that right quick, and we'll drop motorway number 5, and you'll go straight shot up to there. Cool. And as soon as we get just a wee tad more road here, we'll come up this way, toss that into existence. Cool. Give me another motorway. Thanks a bunch. You come up here, go out that way. So now we have 5 houses supporting this thing. That should be fine. We also have 5 houses supporting this circle, which, you know, in the long run won't be fine. But again, long run boiling of the oceans and all that. Let's see here. You are a pink thing. Let's have you grab onto you, because we're going to have you run down this way, actually, and you're gonna boop into there, service that. That should be something approaching fine. This purple business is starting to get angry about stuff, which I sort of understand, actually, if I'm being honest. Like, purples in general seem to be a mite peeved. A mite peeved. There we go. Let's actually use words properly. Let's see here. This white business was just going through transitional growing pains. I think it's going to be fine. This purple business, not so much. But what I can do, theoretically, is draw motorway number 6 over to here, which gets 3 more purple houses involved in the love, care, and support of this thing, which may or may not be good for anybody. But it'll at least theoretically get more purple houses here. Practically speaking, we've also got the issue of, oh, hi. Oh, you spawned in the worst place. Okay. Yeah, a part of the problem is, you know, you've got a double circle, but honestly, it's not the parking lot here, it's the roundabout. it is once more the roundabout that is the reason everything is falling apart. So, oopsie. I can't really do... Well, hold on. If we move that over to there, that'll be 2 more pink houses coming up this way. And then, theoretically, I can take you and you and you and you and you and run you off in that direction. That is a thing that we theoretically could do. Let's ban us a spam bot and hit the go button and see how this all shakes out. It's likely to shake out poorly. Get these oranges, and for that matter, this purple, back into here just in time for this purple to die, even though it had cars in its parking lot, which is annoying. It is a shame that that happened. 2,510 commuters over 89 days sure is a number. That's all that can be said about it. Let's see here. Top 10% in the world, that's decent, but I'm betting that our friend Sam did better. He did indeed do better. Everyone drop those samurai slams in the chat. Sadness and failure from the _Goog. Let us bring in our good friend, the Wordle. Hello, Wordle. All right. The Wordle today is thief. It is, in fact, not thief, which is a shame. But our friend Goro in Cyberpunk 2077 took it to... Mushbrain says, I don't have them, but just imagine I did it. What did you do? What did you do? I don't remember what you did. Did I say a thing? I probably said a thing. I have already forgotten the words that I said 8 seconds ago. The samurai slams. That's right. You know you could. It is well within your power. And I'm sure you're aware of this. All right. So, there is a U in the word right there. Good morning, Wade and 11. Always happy to have Wade in here along with Mushbrains. Thank you so very much to the both of you. Let's see. It could be youth. Could absolutely be youth. I did not put olive, Clancy. You know what? You're right. You're very right. Instead, we're doing our best to duck lips today because I believe that the Wordle is pouty. The Wordle is pouty. Okay. All right. Good job, the Wordle. The point of order, Clancy. Olive would not have done me any better than thief. So, but you're right. I did not put olive. You're pouty because I didn't put olive. I mean, that's fair. That is fair. All right. Let us jump over to Time Guesser and also be gone with the Don't Tell Me the Answer text, because at this point, if you know the answer, you tell me the answer. All right, what do we have here? We have a photograph here that is called Dinner Hour on the Docks. All right, well, there are docks. Cool. Specifically, we have, hold on. We've got us a proto-YMCA. The Young Men's Christian Association building, under the care of Corporal Laura Duvall. They're featuring a gymnasium, swimming pool, shower, bath, educational classes, reading room, something meeting, something classes. Men are welcome. You come meet strangers, I guess. I don't know. That's probably not exactly what is being said there, but all right. So we got some fellas. Mostly, although not entirely African-American type fellas, sitting around on a dock. They are quite literally sitting by the dock of the bay, which is impressive, if nothing else. Oh, hey, what do we have down here? So this is copyright of the Detroit Publishing Company. All right. Hey, you know where they have docks? You know where there could be docks, theoretically? Also Florida. I was going to say Detroit on account of the Detroit Publishing Company, but then I zoomed in the photograph and I saw the Florida Times Union and Citizen. So we're probably in Florida rather than Detroit, honestly. It would be a little weird to publish there could be a town in Florida called Detroit. There absolutely could be. I was going to say there's a town in Michigan called Florida, but there's a town in Massachusetts called Florida. Very, very nice views. It's very hilly in Florida, Massachusetts. It's up in like northwestern Mass. There's one hairpin turn that I know of in Florida, Massachusetts. And if anyone within the sound of my voice has ever driven through Florida, Massachusetts, you know exactly which turn I'm talking about. All right. This place here appears to sell oranges. This place here definitely sells oranges. All right. Well, they don't really grow oranges in Michigan yet. Give it time. They probably will. Yeah, all right. So the Florida Times-Union, I don't know where in Florida that would be, but we can guesstimate that we're in Miami, probably. Let's see here. There are probably docks in Miami. It seems reasonable. There could be docks in Fort Lauderdale. There could be docks in Melbourne. TIL, there's a Melbourne, Florida. There probably aren't docks in Sebring. Well, Sebring's on the water. There probably aren't docks in... Why am I zooming into a state park trying to find a dot? There probably aren't docks in Bushnell. I think we're not in Bushnell, Florida. Although someone might have binoculars, we're still not in Bushnell. Anyway, let's say we're in Fort Lauderdale for reasons, I don't know, man. So, we're here at what appears to be either docks or fancy artificial boat canals. But, we're going to say that we're in Venice, Florida, right here on the dock of the thing. And the year is 1936. Seems entirely possible that the year is 1936. It was 1910 in Jacksonville. Okay. All right. Fine. Okay, so we got dudes with guns on motorcycles. Excellent. We've got ruinated buildings. Cool. This says Haste. Okay, it's a good name for a clock manufacturer, to be honest. What do we got here? You have a badge and a thing that looks like radar, maybe. And that, I can't tell if that's even letters. You have some things on your thing. You don't have like a name thing over the chest here on either of these. Well, this might be, but you don't have like an American style one. So like your first impulse that this might be Vietnam or something, not true. What does your license plate say, my guy? Mexico. Okay. So we're in Mexico in 1964. Fair enough. Thank you, helpful license plate. Where in Mexico? Wonderful question. This says Servando Catanzaro or something. So Katie Catanzaro is somewhere in Mexico. I said Katie Catanzaro. I meant Casey, the American Ninja Warrior who became a professional wrestler and was reasonably good at it, and then WWE squandered for reasons that I'm sure made sense to WWE at the time. But anyway, we're at the corner of Antonio Balderas Street and something else here, but that doesn't help me because I don't know where that is. So let's just say that we are in Chihuahua, Mexico in 1964. Why Chihuahua? Why not? It is, in fact, there was a 7.8 earthquake in Mexico City in 1985. Buddy, renew the registration on your fucking car. It's possible that I misread the license plate and it said 84, not 64, but still, buddy. All right. So this is the frontier of India. Travelers are not permitted to pass this notice board unless they have complied with their passport regulations. So this is the limit of British India. Okay. Well, gee, friends. All right, so India gained its independence from the UK in around about the 40s, I think. Maybe a little bit before that, maybe like the 20s. Also, yeah, okay, so we're going to say this is like 1930, 26. This is 1932. This is 1932, somewhere in India, somewhere specifically on the border of India. Now, the question becomes, what the hell would the British who controlled India at the time think of as British India? Does that mean like the area around New Delhi, and as you head more toward the jungle, you're just kind of fucked? Or does that mean, hey friends, this is the border of Pakistan? Because I'm sort of thinking, hey friends, this is the border of Pakistan, to be honest with you. Like maybe this is just, right there. I think maybe just, hey friends, this is the border of Pakistan. Good fucking luck. So we'll do that, and we'll say that it's 1932. And we'll probably be wrong about both of those things. We are, in fact, reasonably correct about some of those things. Apparently, Pakistan was part of British India, so it was actually, hey, friends, this is the border of Afghanistan. Good fucking luck. But, Pakistan's not that big a country, so we got it about right. And it was 1939, which is also, about right. Fine. Next, round 4. L'Europa des Pots. This is not French. L'Europa des Pots, featuring Pace Lavoro and Equida Sozo. Okay. All right. If I was a guy who recognized rock stars, I'd probably know who that is, and that would help me figure out what this country is, but it doesn't. So, also there are flags, and man, if I was a person who recognized flags, that would be nice. So I think that's the Polish flag. Well, not with the headband guy, but like in general, that might be a headband guy on a Polish flag. That over here, we had a rousing discussion of socialism earlier. This fella is more on the communism side, which, is not my preferred method, but also preferable to current situations at the same time. So we got that guy. Hi there. Let's see here. Yes, Clancy, you missed the rousing discussion of socialism. I'm terribly sorry. I am also a big fan of socialism as previously defined in the video. Not so much the absolute textbook definition, but again, nobody's serious with anything even approaching power is arguing for textbook socialism. So, we're mostly arguing for shit that makes Fox News go, that's socialism. Oh, Lord. All right, so this is advertising the Monte de Paschi di Siena, which, man, I wish I knew any of those words. You can watch it on YouTube. Then you'll be all caught up. The Unipol Association is involved. That doesn't help much. All right, I sort of give up. We're gonna say that this is. Hold on. We got more banners and signage here. We got more folks printed on what might be a Polish flag. We've got various rainbow pride flags. We've got a banner in a language I can't read. And all right, so this appears to be a hey, gay people should have rights concert in Warsaw, which, I mean, listen, gay people should have rights, just like in general. Primomaggio.com makes it sound Italian, but this appears to be Polish communists saying that gay people should have rights, which go Polish communists, I guess. Let's. It's probably the title of the episode, actually. Is that funnier than Now I Want a Corn Dog? Yeah. All right. Title of the episode: Go Polish Communists, comma, I guess. All right. So I zoomed in on Luxembourg for reasons. The reasons being that I couldn't remember where Poland is, but then I did. So let's zoom in and click a thing in Warsaw, because if you're going to say you're in Poland, you might as well say you're in Warsaw and try to be correct about things. As to the when of this, as seems fairly but not incredibly modern, because you've got, color photography, fairly modernishly dressed people, but not everybody in the fucking world holding up their phones. So we're going to say that this is 1984. There we go. 1984 in Warsaw, Poland. It was horrendously wrong. That was in fact Italian. I should have gotten a little bit more from the Primo Maggio. I see. I wonder what this flag is then. So this is a May Day Primo Maggio, 1st of May. Okay. It's International Workers' Day. Good for you. Well done, Italian unions. Next and last. This is advertising the Metropolitan Laundry Service of Dublin, which, I mean, we're probably in Dublin then. You're not going to buy international bus signage for your laundromat. I'm sorry. That's just not a thing that happens. Although, come to think of it, this is a streetcar. I don't think you're going to buy international streetcar signage either. So we're probably in Ireland, and if we're probably in Ireland, then we're probably just in Dublin. As to the, man, there's a lot of rubble and collapsed shit here. This is probably, if I had to guess, based on the existence of public transit and the very wideness of the roads and the just prototype, like very rough sketch of what would eventually become an automobiliness, I'm thinking this is like there was some bombings in Ireland in World Wars Ones. Yeah, let's go with that. So this is probably like Dublin, Ireland, 1917. That sounds about right. Let's not go to Scandinavia. Let's go to Ireland, specifically the Irish part of Ireland, specifically the Dublinish part of Ireland, specifically. Man, if I was a person who recognized large Irish buildings, I would probably know exactly what that is, but I'm not. So we're going to say that we're at the South Georgian core of Dublin, Ireland in 1917. It was, in fact, Sackville Street in Dublin in 1916. But hey, that was easily our best performance in what was easily a pretty mediocre performance. All told, 28,032 is not what one would consider a good score in Time Guesser, but it's the score that I got. Next, for today's Immaculate Grid, we need Marlins and Pirates and Astros and pitchers what won 10 games in a season and first-round draft picks. Ugh. And dudes what had 6 or more wins above replacement in a season. All right, then. A first-round draft pick who played for the Pittsburgh Pirates is Paul Skeens. He's good. He's reasonably fine. There's a decent chance, y'all. I'm going to the Pirates game on Monday because I'm going to be in Pittsburgh next week. Spoiler, there's going to be very few streams for the first few days of next week on account of me being in Pittsburgh. There's a chance that Paul Skeens is pitching on Monday for the Pirates. So that would be nice. As I recall, Paul Skeens is the scheduled starter today for the Pirates. And then, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they don't have an off day. So Paul Skeens would be on normal rest to pitch on Monday. That would be very cool. Anyway, first round draft pick who played for the Marlins of Miami is, I don't know. Hold on. The Marlins have had plenty of good prospects. Some of them have even turned into decent baseball players. Was Jeremy Hermida a first-round draft pick? I have no idea. He was a well-regarded Marlins prospect, and then he didn't really pan out. He was okay for a few seasons. I was gonna say Dontrell Willis, but that feels wrong. That feels incorrect. So I'm not gonna say Dontrell Willis. Was Jeff Conine a first-round draft pick? Was Giancarlo Stanton a first-round draft pick? Who the fuck cares about... Okay. All right. A dude who had a 6-win season and was a first-round draft pick is Steven Strasburg. So let's knock that square out right now. A dude who had a 10-win season and a 6-WAR season is our Zach Greinke button. He was very good at pitching. He's probably still okay. Like, I firmly believe that Zach Greinke would, in fact, be here. Sam is just going to tell me that Jeremy Hermida was correct, actually. So, good job, Goog. A dude who had a 10 pitching win season for the Marlins is the aforementioned Dontrelle Willis. A dude who played for the Marlins and the Astros is, man, I don't know. Sam, we can thank the Remembering Some Dudes Twitter account, or specifically not remembering, but ranking some dudes on Bluesky. There is a dude on Bluesky who has taken it as a silly little content project to rank the top 1,000 baseball players of the 2000s. And I happened to discover this Bluesky account yesterday. And this man ranked Jeremy Hermida as, like, I think he was the 893rd best baseball player of the 2000s. Jeremy Hermida was within 2 or 3 spots of Gil Mesh, according to this guy, which, I don't know, that's probably a little bit mean to Gil Mesh, but all right. All right, let's see here. A dude who had a 10 pitching win season for the Pittsburgh Pirates is, man, I don't know. Garrett Cole. Dave Stieb. I don't think Dave Stieb pitched for the Pirates. There was, oh God, I'm blanking on the name of that one good Pirates pitcher. Drabek? Something Drabek? Doug Drabek? Doug Drabek had a 10 pitching win season for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Good for you, Doug Drabek. All right, now we must name some Houston Astros. A dude who played for the Astros and had 6 or more wins above replacement in a season was Craig Biggio, probably. That seems like something Craig Biggio would have done. He was quite good. Oh, now we must name some teams, specifically Pirates and Marlins. Lucky. Oh, Jason Kendall was a Pirate. I don't think he was an Astro. Roger Clemens and Andy Pettit were both Astros, but neither Pirates nor Marlins. Moises Alou was an Astro and a Marlin, wasn't he? I think Moises Alou was an Astro and a Marlin. There you go. I haven't named a Pirate and an Astro. I haven't named that many dudes. Hold on. I really haven't named that many dudes, and yet I think I said Jeff Conine when discussing Marlins first-round draft picks. I don't think he was an Astro and a Pirate. I could be wrong about that. I said Steven Strasburg, but I used Steven Strasburg. Interesting. Well, that's not going to help me. So, Derek Bell was an Astro. I don't think he was a Pirate. Jose Guillen was a Pirate, but I don't think he was an Astro. Kind of obvious player. Well, thanks, Sam. Now I feel bad about, Garrett Cole. I said Garrett Cole when trying to think of a Pirate who had a 10-win season. Garrett Cole is a Pirate who was also an Astro and is presently a Yankee and currently a spectator on account of the arm injury. But, yeah. Okay. Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole, he was a Pirate. He was an Astro. He is a Yankee. This is an immaculate grid. Well done, Goog. Thank you, Sam. 146 rarity, not the bestest in the world. We took some fairly obvious answers here, but, we got a chance to hit the Zach Greinke button, which is always nice. Got us a nice little sub 1% there. Couple single-digit polls with Jeremy Hermida and Steven Strasburg. We take those. All right, friends, that is going to do it for us here today on Good Morning Mini Motorways. The intent is that I will be back earlier than usual tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern. Just saying it makes me wince. But I do have to be in Farmington, Connecticut reasonably early tomorrow morning, but not stupidly early tomorrow morning. So if I can pull my ass out of bed early enough, we will be back tomorrow morning for another edition of Good Morning Mini Motorways. Until then, you also have a lovely day. Thank you, Clancy. Thank you, Wade and 11. Thank you to Mushbrains. Thank you to Samurai Sam for being here. And yet, none of you were first. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.